The night before my wedding, I discovered my fiancé was sleeping with my mother. I'm Riley Clay. I'm 32, and I used to believe that trust was the absolute foundation of every meaningful relationship. I work as a senior project manager at a software development company, and my life, from the outside, looked like the perfect American dream. I was about to marry a man named Mark Dawson, and my relationship with my mother, Veronica, was everything a daughter could wish for. My mother, Veronica, was 60, a highly respected real estate broker who had built her reputation over 3 long decades. She and my father, George, had been married for 35 years. She was my hero, my mentor, the person I looked up to most. And Mark Dawson, my fiancé. He was 30, smart, handsome, and shared my love for spontaneous weekend trips. He seemed to get along perfectly with my parents, which I thought was wonderful. Our wedding was set for a Saturday in October at the beautiful St. Michael's Church in Chicago. We'd paid for everything ourselves, right down to the Maui honeymoon we were so excited for. The night before the wedding, I was staying at the Palmer House Hotel with my mother, just going over the final details. You know, the seating chart, the last-minute logistics. It was one of those perfect mother-daughter moments that I thought we'd look back on and cherish for years to come. Around 10:30 that night, my mother excused herself to use the restroom. She left her unlocked iPhone on the little table right next to her coffee cup. Now, I wasn't trying to snoop, I swear. But a moment later, a text message lit up the screen, and my eyes just naturally drifted to it. The message was from Mark, my fiancé. The words on that screen made my blood run cold. It said, "Thank you for an unforgettable night, Veronica. I can't stop thinking about how your lips explored every part of me. P.S. Our story will be our little secret." As if that wasn't enough, attached to the message was a photo that left absolutely no room for doubt or misunderstanding. It was them. Together. In that single sickening moment, my entire world collapsed. My mind started racing, flashing back to all the little things I had dismissed. The inside jokes they shared that I wasn't in on. The way my mother would compliment Mark's new cologne with a little too much enthusiasm. I had dismissed all these tiny red flags because I trusted them completely. My trust in them was absolute. By the time my mother came back from the restroom, I had already taken several pictures of her phone screen with my own phone. Evidence. She walked over, clapped me on the shoulder with this big, reassuring smile and said, "Get some rest, honey. Tomorrow is going to be the best day of your life." The irony was so thick, it was almost unbearable. After she left, the full weight of the betrayal finally hit me. It wasn't just about the physical act, it was the calculated deception from the 2 people I loved most. But instead of crying, instead of calling off the wedding right then and there, a cold, calculated purpose washed over me. I made a decision that would define everything that came next. I would let them believe they had gotten away with it. I would let them walk into that church, stand in front of everyone they cared about, and I would expose them at the perfect moment. I spent the next 3 hours preparing my strategy. First, I uploaded the photos and the screenshots of the text messages to a secure cloud server. Then, I generated a QR code that linked directly to that page, which I designed to look like a simple digital guest book. On the page, I put a harmless-looking title. Scan for a special surprise from the happy couple. Using the hotel's business center, I printed 200 small, professional-looking cards with that QR code. Next, I called my lawyer, Dr. Evelyn Stone. It was late, but she picked up. She listened calmly and then said, "Riley, I'm glad you're thinking clearly. Do not, under any circumstances, sign any marriage documents tomorrow." She advised me to document everything and even offered to attend the wedding as my legal representative just in case. I barely slept, but when morning came, I felt strangely calm, almost serene. At the church, everything looked perfect. The flowers, the music, the guests arriving. My father, George, was absolutely radiant, beaming with pride, shaking hands with friends and family, completely unaware that his world was about to collapse right alongside mine. Then Mark appeared, looking handsome and confident. He leaned in and whispered, "I can't wait to be your husband." In the front pew, my mother, looking stunning in her dress, exchanged a quick, knowing glance with him. The sheer audacity of their performance was breathtaking. During the ceremony, I had my trusted wedding coordinator discreetly start distributing the little QR code cards to our guests. My cousin Michael scanned his card right away. I watched his face shift from mild curiosity to confusion, and then to absolute horror. The domino effect was fascinating to watch. Within minutes, the whole atmosphere in the church began to shift. Whispers broke out. Phones lit up. Mark's brother, the best man, checked his phone, went pale, and immediately showed it to his date. The evidence was spreading through the congregation like wildfire. My father, George, was sitting in the front row when my aunt, looking disturbed, handed him one of the cards. He smiled, confused by the commotion. I watched as that beautiful, proud smile vanished from his face in an instant, replaced by an expression of pure devastation that I will never, ever forget. My mother started to look uneasy, seeing the whispering and the phones. She leaned over to say something to my father, but he recoiled from her touch as if he'd been burned. Finally, the priest reached the critical question. His voice boomed through the now tense and quiet church. "If anyone objects to this union, if anyone has just cause, let them speak now or forever hold their peace." I stepped forward and took the microphone from the priest's hand. The church fell completely, deathly silent. I looked directly at Mark, then at my mother, and then out at the sea of stunned faces in the congregation.